Thank you for that introduction, Terror. Welcome back, everybody. I hope... Never changes. I hope you've all managed to have some sustenance. So, to the story. You are quickly rown across. There are two people in the boat are very efficient, drawing the oars deeply across. And you're soon at the bottom of a ladder which looms quite high. You can see that this boat probably has about 3 decks above the waterline, and then the hold below it. It's got a lot of space on it. Does anyone climb up first?
Mara does.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so
Holding
Mara
the dress.
does. You get to the top, and there's another sailor there to hold your hand to get over the top, and you all go up one by one.
I will walk up the side of the ship.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Because it doesn't say I have to run with my ability.
No, that's fine. Make
a
perception.
I have a question.
21.
Doesn't seem to raise any eyes at all.
Yeah, I just didn't want to climb a ladder.
These
Yeah.
fucking magical people.
I'm not magic.
They're, you can tell by that 21, this is a crew that is quite used to seeing weird shit happening.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, of course they're just walking up the side of the boat. That's fine.
Yeah.
I have a
And as you get onto the deck, you can see that everything is pristine. It's incredibly well kept. All the varnish and the paint on the deck is obviously constantly redone because it just looks immaculate. All the ropes are particularly well coiled and waxed and oiled against the elements. The sails have been furled perfectly, and again with the cleats and the things perfectly knotted off. Just immaculate. And it's noticeable that the crew do not seem to be the same. They're a bit ragtaggy. Humans for the most part, but their clothes don't seem to match how neat and tidy the boat is. A little bit dirty, a little bit ripped, a bit worn down, but well nourished and eager. And one of them nods to you, comes to you, Mara, because you seem to be in charge in the finery, and Captain will entertain you in his ready room if you would all like to follow me, and takes you down one set of stairs to the back stern of the boat, where it opens up. You go through a narrow entrance tunnel. It's not a tunnel. Corridor, and there's obviously 2 small rooms off to the side, but the doors are closed, and then it opens up into a much larger grand chamber where there is a desk with maps and things open on it, a large baroque chair, and then on the other side there is like a large table, circular, probably like a dining table, with in black ebony wood, beautifully varnished to take out the delicate sort of grain of the wood in it as well, and with 8 ebony chairs around it, all fixed to the deck so that it doesn't move around in the storm. And in the baroque chair on the desk, there is a very flamboyant gentleman. He is... bear with me. He is... no. He is human, and you think he's of a northern, from northern Sword Coast, with very red cheeks, lots of sort of blood capillaries broken. Somebody that is no stranger to a bottle of port or a bottle of whiskey. Flamboyant clothes, lots of colours layered and frilly, almost like a blouse rather than a shirt. Open to the waist, very elegant hat with a large feather on it, thigh-length boots, and he's sitting back in the chair with his feet up on the corner of the desk, drinking from a fine goblet. Ah, my guests! Do make yourself at home. And as you look around, there are at the back of the cabin as well, there's like a shelf with cushions and things on it you can sit on, or you can take a stand or take a seat at the table.
Sarah could go sit on the edge of the
Don't worry.
Adam will join Cyric as well.
Okay.
Yes, that.
Thank you. Mara will sit at the table. It's nice to finally meet you, Captain Jarlaxle. I enjoyed your message.
And he grins slightly, goes, I think there is some sort of mistake. I am Captain Zardas Zord, captain of the Eyecatcher.
Oh, excuse me.
But you can make an insight check.
Insight.
Have you seen the picture of Zardoz Zord from the Dragon Heist campaign?
I've seen Sean Connery Zardoz, but
I will. Yeah. So you've seen his outfit?
Okay.
Shit. Plus that 17. It's great to have high stats being rolled really low.
Yes, he's not dressed like that, Jabber.
Dang it! It's the best outfit.
No.
Oh Jesus! Oh yeah, that is
Sorry.
Zardoz.
It's Zardoz Zord.
Say that again.
17.
A 17. You can see that there is some sort of humour here, and something is not quite right.
Can I insight
Mm-hmm.
or see through his deceptions? 24.
Yes, you can see that
No.
he is somehow changing his form. That this is not his.
Okay.
Probably by some magical means.
I politely don't point it out.
Okay.
Because that would be rude.
Will we meet Captain Jarlaxle since he sent the message, or will you be handling this meeting for him?
My dear, my dear, my dear. I did think that you would be a little bit more fun and not so business.
Well,
And he stands up and he just sort of does this, gestures with his hands, and his form shimmers, and you can see his true self show. He is a
I'm
very
never gonna dance again.
very handsome drow man with very dark skin. His clothes are the same. He is very colourful, flouncy, multicolored blouse, ruffles down the front. His chest is open almost to the navel. The shirt sort of cinches at his elbow, and there's sort of fluffy fluffy ruffs coming down his forearms, and he does have a very extravagant hat with a large purple plumed feather in it. And he deeply bows and gives, without any insight check, gives Mara and Scale quite a lascivious glance. It's very nice to meet the acquaintance of two beautiful women. And then he just cursory glance over the rest of them and their companions.
Alton is basically boring a hole in the side of his head.
So, just to ask, lascivious then is...
Lascivious is flirty, seductive, sort of like with lusty thoughts.
Yes, it's more. There's definitely more lustiness in lascivious than just flirty.
He's sexually aggressive.
Okay.
No, he's not aggressive at all. But
but I mean the way is going about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is what lascivious means.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
there's an undercurrent.
It's always good when you learn new words and you think back to other things like Richard III, the lascivious pleasings of a lute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just relate this to Shakespeare, I think.
But the word.
Yeah. It certainly will be a try.
I think Scale just kind of like smirks at him, but is just sitting like with her arms crossed and like her leg crossed, like leaning back in her chair.
Well, as you're to business, maybe pleasure later. Once we get the business out of the way, maybe you're that kind of woman. But anyway, I asked for this powwow, as I believe you have been quite a thorn in the side of my rivals, the Silken Woe, of late. Tales have reached me. I have ways and means to hear things, and your names, and he does at that point begrudgingly gesture to you as a whole, have come to my ears several times, and I thought it's about time to introduce myself to someone that has unwillingly or unwittingly, maybe unwittingly is a better way of describing it, come to my aid by being that thorn in their side. I would appreciate if you could tell me your version of your interactions with them.
Well, entirely hostile. They took something that is important to the Temple of Neverwinter, and so we struck at them to get more information of where they took that person. So, and I think they have also attacked the temple.
My belief is the initial abduction of your, I think, quaint name. You call them the Overgold or something like that. Very mundane thing, gold. That was purely opportunistic, as he seems to be a bit of a prissy idiot and put himself in the position where, I'll be honest with you, I was considering it myself. It was like he was just, I don't know, like he was almost wishing to be abducted. Very terrible thought process. He didn't think how dangerous Luskin was.
Yes.
But that still doesn't really explain how you were drawn into it.
By excuse me.
Is there fruit on his table?
Yeah, let's say yes.
I think Alton will walk over and grab something and go back to his seat.
By association. I have done some minor works and spent some time in that temple, and we are kindred of faith. In our select group of faithful, at least some of us try to help each other, even if they have certain less than bright ideas?
And he looks you deep into your eyes, and this time you don't get the lascivious. This is
You
he's
so
deep-
fucking precious with those
Yeah.
eyes.
He's deeply balancing your reaction to what he next says, and he says, "But surely a businesswoman like yourself should know that removing a cretin like that from your organization would be beneficial to you and your church as a whole. So why put the effort in? Your Joaquin practices commerce, and surely that would be better without him."
Well, we can't simply remove someone who is proven to be. I've lost all my words. We can't just remove someone because we might think he is not as capable, especially since he has risen to a position in the church.
I understand, but I also know that your clergy can be very ruthless. None of you, and I am not suggesting that you have been part of this plan, but there is also nothing to say that you need to put so much effort into recovering him. You could maybe just move on. Lament, have a wake, and move on. Why the effort? And he looks again very directly at you. What drives Mara Clearwater?
Well, her attachment to those who are close to her, and her mission to...
Which, by your own admission, is not the Overgold.
Of course. I was simply stating a list of things that drive me. I was also about to add my mission to Joaquin. She has chosen this man to lead the Church of Neverwinter, Temple of Neverwinter. And so I shall not simply abandon him as if he was some sort of castaway product. He was chosen for a reason, and I shall go and retrieve him.
He seems to ponder that for a moment. Doesn't look entirely convinced.
Okay, fuck. Water.
Could be argued that Joaquin herself has abandoned him for allowing him to walk into such.
Well, he has
Maybe
fallen.
this is her will all along.
As a cleric of Joaquin, I know that sometimes in our business ventures we fall, but we pick ourselves up and we find new inventive ways to regain ourselves. We invent and we move forward.
He smiles. And your companions, what binds you all together?
Oh, at this point, several battles against
Indulge me.
dangerous foes. Oh,
Money.
well, this captain that has recently joined us to some lesser adventures against a kraken of some kind below the sea waves.
I'm being paid to
Sea
take him to
waves.
Luskin.
Yes. My other companions here, I have seen the drow, as you already know. There have been battles against hags and ogres and dragons, but I'm sure that those types of tales do not impress a captain of your caliber.
You're correct. Petty adventuring fare. Anything
As a
worthy of a
readjust.
tale?
We killed an octopus.
It was a lesser
one.
kraken. You, if you're going to tell a story, do it right.
Sorry, I'm telling facts.
I am guessing that
No,
you
you're not.
already know my companions' names, so I don't think I need to... I was about to say insult, introduce them.
He smirks at that and gives a wee nod.
Right.
But I still still don't truly understand what binds the companionship between you. And he looks at Scale. Money! I can understand that. A man of business myself. It's a very noble thing. Honest coin in the hand.
Yep. It's honest work, and someone's got to do it.
Of course.
But the rest of you
Oh, well,
binds you together. And then he points at you, Alton, directly and goes, why do you bother with this popinjay of a cleric that's got themselves
mother.
kidnapped in a dangerous city hundreds of miles away from you?
Not that it's any of your business, but she bothered with me.
A favour returned. That is honest as well. I can understand that and appreciate it. That is all. I just want to know who I am dealing with.
Alton sort of rolls his eyes.
I like you.
It's sort of like
little gnome.
It's sort of like he's just like, dude, please. We can lie to each other and persuade each other all day, and you know it.
I must. And he goes to Mara and it's like, I'm sorry for diverting from business for a moment. I must ask you, where did you get that fabulous lush beard of ivy? I think I would look fetching with one of those. I really need to get one for myself.
They sell them in Neverwinter.
Really? Disappointed with that answer. I know every magical shop and item for sale to the length and breadth of the Sword Coast, and that is not something I have ever seen before.
Can I roll an insight on that? Because that might be the type of thing that Mara would go, Right. Yeah, 19.
Yep. Means every word he said.
Damn.
It is something that was picked up upon some of our more petty adventures, as you put it.
Okay. He nods. Well, let us discuss the business properly. I can probably help you with your locating your Overgold, if that is something you still truly bother about.
Yes.
Possibly provide some other support. But what I really want is I want Gostra Oblodra killed. She is the driving force behind the Silken Woe. If you cut it off at the head, the body will wither and die. I will be able to mop up such individuals that I deem worthy of joining my own organisation, and the status quo shall be put back in place. That is, I control the business in the northern Sword Coast.
Is Oboldra then in Neverwinter? Do you have her location?
No. The main location and fast of the Silken Woe is on a promontory to the north of Luskan, just 2 or 3 miles out of the town itself. But it is an incredibly well defended place. The hilltop fort, small village, all behind high walls, and a very small, narrow path up to it that's very well defended.
And the man we're after is in this area as well? You would suspect?
I know exactly where he is at this moment in time, and if we come to an accord, I will be able to tell you.
So then, for his location, you would want Miss Oboldra to be dead.
Yes, I want your assurances that that is as important a task as rescuing your petty Overgold.
I think Alton will minor illusion a poop on his hat.
Alton, the master of diplomacy. Right. So now, they should be of equal measure in our mission.
Yes.
Yes. And for that, we are given his exact location. So they are obviously closely connected in area.
He just makes a wee. You can decide what you want to decide.
Right. You mentioned also assistance, and if you want us to eliminate a lord of assassins, I would then wonder what that assistance would be. The place you described sounds well defended, though me and my companions have been through thick and thin. Charging a keep is not perhaps our greatest expertise.
And you would certainly perish if you did. But my help is I can get you into the keep behind the wall without any of their alarms being triggered. Silently, I can get you in position. And depending on how you conduct yourself, potentially take you out the same way.
Can I do an insight check on that?
Mm-hmm.
When he said take you out.
I can take you out.
15.
Okay. You can see with a 15, he likes to weave a tangled web, so it's sometimes difficult to know exactly what he is and isn't saying, but there are no outright lies.
Indeed. I think Alton picks up on this pretty easily, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He does it so similarly himself sometimes.
Yes.
So then...
Alton listens more carefully.
So then the job would be that you would take us in. We would kill the mistress. And in that process also, as you had given us the location, save him from the fortress.
Yes.
I think that sounds like it would be a rather satisfactory deal. Seeing as you have a backdoor entrance and some information about the palace, we would also keep.
Why haven't you done it yourself? Alton says from off and behind him.
Yeah.
The poop emoji vanishes.
Yes. Well, you know, I have a reputation to keep up, and back in the day when I was a mere adventurer as well, I got a reputation as an extreme swordsman. But nowadays,
That doesn't sound like a mere adventurer at all.
Cannot. Well, you're quite right. You're in the presence of a very deadly gentleman.
Wow. What have you done? Alton gives him his full performance and gives him his full attention.
Well, and you can see without having to roll, this is prickling correctly, touching the pressing the buttons of his own self-importance. There, in the conversation, he does covet money. He does covet the Silken Woe's demise, but he doesn't covet anything more than his own beauty, self-worth, and importance. And he starts telling you fabulous tales of greater demons that he has killed one-on-one.
Does he tell me them, the stories that he tells, and I'll let you finish, but as he's telling the stories, is he performing them impressively at all?
Well, let us roll the dice and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what Alton
Anyway, so I met this assassin, artsmith, whatever. And then, I don't know.
Yeah, but he might have done some really good, probably has done some really cool things, but if you can't tell it, right?
And I met this guy with this sword and told him,
Natural 20, so...
He's got like a plus 15, doesn't he?
I think Alton does one of these.
No, he doesn't to his persuasion. He's got plus 14 to his deception, but he's only got plus 4 to his persuasion, so it's 24.
Yeah.
And he does not. There is not a word of a lie that passes his lips.
Okay, he's performing well. That's where the judgment would have come in from Alton.
He tells his own story as if he's Dritz. Then I killed this Baylor.
Then my unicorn whisked me away.
Yeah.
But I think he does also name drop famous people that he has consorted with and these sorts of things.
Alton can't even pretend to be impressed by that because he doesn't know them. However, I think he will understand after a few have been dropped what he's doing. So
yes,
and then Alton will big up the wow, you know.
You mean when he randomly is dropping full first, middle, and last names in his cover?
Because he could
of Shadowdale or Ellie, as
he's
I call him.
He just attaches titles that weren't needed in the story. But
Yeah.
attaches them.
Well, he's rolling a natural 20, so he's telling it really well. So it's not like he's ham fisting either. Anyway, carry on, Scott.
No, that's fine. And I think he will go on telling stories about himself, aggrandizing himself for a long time unless anyone butts in.
Alton will not butt in.
I'm gonna butt in.
Okay.
I think Scale just kind of like raises a glass and just be like, "Are you giving us money for this?"
Possibly could be arranged. Or indeed, depending on what happens, you may be able to loot the holdfast that there is a lot of money in it.
Well, it's more that my job kind of ends upon them arriving there.
Well,
Scale
if
has
I
been
make
very
an
helpful.
accord, I make an accord with them, then they can make a further accord with you.
Well, would you like to make an accord with me for me to continue assisting them?
Oh, my dear, I think I would quite like to make an accord with you, but that's maybe something for later on.
Hey.
Lascivious look in his eye comes back.
Yeah.
Well, I was just assuming that if you wanted them to succeed and you wanted them to return to Luskin, either to bring the Overgold back swiftly or report to you, or
I care nothing of the Overgold. He can
make sense.
rot whatever he wishes. But it is a mean to my own end, so...
Where is the Overgold?
In the keep.
I will tell you that once.
Yes, that's what I thought. See, Alton picked up he hadn't mentioned him yet.
Mm-hmm.
So then...
There is one thing, and it is... And you can see that he now gets a slightly... not concerned, but annoyed expression that there is something that he knows its existence but does not know its nature. That there is something that they are up to, and I am perplexed and perplexed at not being able to get to the bottom of it. Have you, in your dealings with them, when you have raided them and killed their bodies and looted them, as I know adventurers do, ever come across anything that may suggest what they are planning? As there is something going on that I just cannot get to the bottom of.
What have you found?
That is it. I know that they are doing something, but they are managing to be so secretive that whenever we capture somebody, they are taking a poison pill and dying before that we can.
Unfortunately, they are quite overwhelming a force.
Their force is not overwhelming. I could storm the keep and kill them all, but it would test my own people more. I would rather have a surgical strike to the head rather than throw my own men at them.
So we're just... No, I understand we're expendable.
How will they know that that it was... And we know his name at this point?
He's not introduced himself and nobody's at him.
Okay.
I mean, we know him as Jarlaxle.
It's on the letter.
He introduced himself as Captain Zardoz.
Yeah.
Then he changed shape.
Yes.
Okay, so Alton will say, well, how will they know that the great...
Sword.
Not everything has to be done in the eye. I will know. My men will know. The greater
Yeah, but
world.
they won't know.
No, they'll be dead.
Yeah.
So then you have... Fuck, I lost what I was going to say. Oh yeah. So then you have only an inkling of a plan only because your enemies would automatically have one? That's not a lot to go on if we go in there. To search for answers, I mean.
No, I was wondering if you have already come across anything. Have you? I've never managed to secure documentation, ledgers, missives, anything like that.
Can I just quickly do a quick Arcana check just on the room around us?
Yes.
While this is going on.
Well, Arcana checks. Yes, that's fine. No problem.
Jarlaxle is a Christmas tree.
Well, no, it's not. Arcana check is not the same as casting Detect Magic.
No, but he would glow like one if he...
Yeah, things would... He just wants to get a sense of the area, essentially. 24.
It is... Again, it's one of these things that's it's
Does
difficult
he light
with
up
an
like a
Arcana
Christmas-
check. But, well, again, with an Arcana... That's what I'm meaning. It's not Detect Magic, but it is...
Arcana, the knowledge thing is impressive.
Yeah, it's more about knowledge, and what I would say is you certainly assume that somebody like this is probably got a lot of magical items on.
One way to look at Arcana is basically magic is math, and Arcana is the way to figure out the math.
Yeah, I know I've kind of used that in the past, but I think I've sort of made Arcana checks a bit too powerful in the past.
Magic is unexplainable.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
has anything like this fallen into your possession? And then he looks at Scale. Something like that I would pay hard money for.
God.
I mean, I wasn't with them when they dealt with the Silicon Well, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd sell you the information.
So, we may have seen things, but I wouldn't know what that would be worth.
Probably like worth a boat, at least.
If one would be interested in boats, Scale.
Who's not interested in boats?
Alton puts his hand up.
Mara puts her hand up.
Because you guys don't
It's
count.
about-
Do you have something that may be for sale or not?
Maybe.
Well, show it. I can't give you a value of what I value it at without seeing it.
Well, we don't.
Look. You have to go on trust. Because
Of
let's
course.
face it, I could get all of my men in here and murder you and take every scrap from your bodies.
Of course. The problem is that it isn't here.
Alton doesn't blink.
The sweats. So anyway, So of course you could kill us
perception, the
all.
nearest window.
Of course you could come in here. They could come in here and kill us all, but that would defeat the purpose of bringing us here in the first place.
Exactly. So, where is this document? If you could go and retrieve it?
Document?
There is no document. There is an item.
Item? Whatever.
An item. An item that has enormous magical properties. But see, there are many different variants with to things that we might want to trade for. So I would wonder, say that if we would have an object that would allow great magical power to go to someone who might not have said power. Squid rustles through things.
No, I'm just.
That was me.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
I must admit, I thought a cleric of Joaquin would be a bit more forthright, as I literally have no idea what you're offering me, and therefore can put no value on it.
Of course, of course.
You're not terribly adept at this whole bargaining thing, are you?
I have been drinking. No. Well, I'm only pondering if I really should trade it. Maybe it's more valuable to us. But I guess...
Well, if you want to be a prick tease, my dear, I would tell you this. It is not very becoming of a woman.
That's that one lost.
I think Alton will just turn to Cyric and just be like, "What's a prick tease?"
Also, Squid, I see what you're doing, and I want to kill myself. God, I'm dying.
That's the worst part about playing. It's the worst part about playing something that you don't really know that much about. Well then, I guess we'll just keep it. Anyway, you have plans of the place, maps and everything?
Yes. I can give you plans. I can give you detailed troop movements.
How about the Overgold's location?
Like I said, I have that exactly, and I will mark it on a map for you if we come to an accord.
I'm sorry, Jabber, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Look at roll 20.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I think Terror already knows what he's looking for, but I think Terror is trying to give him something else.
I think Terror might have forgotten it. Yeah, that's fine.
No. Just let Terror be Terror. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, let Terror be Athelas. That would be way more...
We'd be dead.
Yeah. No, he would be so enamored. Are you my daddy? I want you to be my dad.
Oh, I'll be your daddy.
No! Referencing a character that people watching probably don't know.
They definitely don't know.
No.
They definitely
Continue,
don't
let's
know.
get back in the game.
Yeah.
So are you going to provide this item or not? Because I cannot see how we're going to move forward in trying to come to an accord without you showing.
Can I first just ask?
Alton will turn... Sorry. I was just going to say Alton was going to turn to Cyric and say, "Show him."
I was just going to ask. I was asked to watch this.
Well, I was just going to do a callback to the purple crystal that Cyric carries with him. Yeah. So Alton says that to Cyric. This may help us.
We already get everything we really want.
Before showing the crystal, Cyric asks, "This guy, for his name."
Yeah, I mean, you guys can refer to him as Jarlaxle because the characters absolutely know that's who it is, but he's not actually introduced himself as anything other than Captain Zord.
So, Siri just asks, do you know Dragons Company?
Sorry, you cut out a bit there, Sirik.
Sorry, do you know of the Dragons Company?
Oh.
I have had dealings with them. They have carried out... And he sort of... There's that wee sort of mysterious face. You've carried out the odd contract on my behalf.
Do you know of a way for me to get in contact with Maktar?
And he looks at you like, you've piqued my interest greatly. I don't know what this is about. I can introduce you if that pleases me to do so.
Then he just takes out the crystal and throws it to Jarlaxle.
Okay.
Throws it at him?
Yep.
He can't. He just snaps it out of the air and looks at it. Yes, I have managed to come into the possession of a few of these. They seem to crush it into a powder and it enhances psionic abilities or something, but I have no idea where this comes from.
Comes from down there.
We know.
I understand what you're saying, young Mr. Gnome, but I more meant I don't know where the psionic powers come from. The Oblodras were a quite great house once in the drow city of Menzoberranzan, and they were obliterated as they created great heresy because they developed these psionic powers, but I think only now, really, the matron mothers really truly understand what the heresy was and where these powers came from. I am certainly not aware of them myself. I have tested them on some of my men. I would not.
What happened?
If somebody does not already show signs of psionic abilities, let's just say they are not worth. The results were... I'm going to have to be a little bit crude, but a bit head explodey.
Oh. Fine.
Right. So then, for this crystal, you'll help Sirik to get in touch with the...
Dragon Company.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
It balances the scales a little bit, but I wouldn't say I would do it for this. I have many of them. I'm aware of them. It is not worth much to me.
I think with the positive assertion that he just made, I think Alton will just because Alton's actually standing on the seat in the back, and Alton will just sort of, when Jarlaxle's not looking, whatever, he'll just sort of pat Sirik on the shoulder, like, good going.
Sirik recognizes it. That's it.
Sorry.
I think Sirik will connect tomorrow via Siricord.
Oh, hold on, let me get Siricord up.
So
You're up.
So, Captain, will you be going with us in our ship to Luskin to get us behind, or just sending some of your men?
No. I'll meet you there when the time comes. You will need this ship for what I have planned.
Oh, I just want... Oh, God.
Right.
Did we find any documents or anything? You're down in the dark. Sirik asks. Siricord.
Say once again?
Sirik asks you, in Siricord, didn't we find any documents while down in the dark?
Mara responds, yes. And I guess that's what we'll trade it for now. Because he didn't say that he was going to trade this crystal that he has many of for the information about the other thing.
No, it's all part of it. I mean, what he's saying is, it's all... This is... Mara should be quite. I'd say that this should be
Mara's
quite
smarter than I am.
Yeah, Mara's enjoying this because it is just trading off bits and pieces, but that's something that he has asked for. He genuinely doesn't know whether you have anything or not, so you do not have to offer it up.
Yeah.
He's not doing this with knowledge of foresight or anything. You don't need to do a roll for that, but he is very hopeful of something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Am I in the Seer Court as well?
No, for now it's just me and Mara.
So I want to double check that. Cool.
Give me 2 seconds. So then, if we have more information about said things relating to the Silken Woe, you will be able to help with finding the location and contact with... Shit. I already forgot the name.
The Dragon Company.
Dragon Company, thank you. Damn it. Mara didn't say that, because she would have...
I wrote that down.
I thought
Yeah,
we
I
got...
mean, you've literally just heard
there.
say it,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm just...
Yeah. It's just me being stupid. So, so for further... For this... The piece of information that we have, you'll give us... contact and location of the Dragon Company.
Well, again, I have not seen this thing, but I am certainly introducing your friend to Magtar Sol is no difficulty. So it is a fairly minor request. I'm quite happy for you to add to your side of the deal.
Sure.
The main deal is I get you in there and tell you where your Overgold is, and you make sure you do not leave without killing Ghostra Blodra. If you have other information you wish, that would probably be a simple sell it to me.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking as well.
But it may also be something that would be helpful to you if there is a danger or something, maybe they're moving and we can ambush them elsewhere. Because whilst I am very confident I can get you where you need to be, if they do move and we can act somewhere else, it would be safer for all concerned.
Right. So let me add the Silken Wool letter. I can't read lips.
Oh, no, I'm just talking to the stream.
Oh.
These are not directed at you guys. I'm just sharing my views with the stream.
Just reading this.
I know, Dan. I know.
And it is, you can see him like look at it, and you know the basic thing is it was very just transmits this message to her brother and act immediately, and then all the rest of it was gobbledygook. And he reads it, and you can see his face going from. Actually, make an insight check, anyone that's studying him. Because he does keep things quite close to...
No.
Close to his bare chest.
No.
What's the modifier? Oh, but sorry, Dirty 20 is modified, sorry.
Insight, you said?
Yeah. Mara?
Fucking finally. Give me, 2 seconds.
16.
Okay.
31.
Right. Nobody sees anything other than Mara. Mara, with your extra insight into reading people at business meetings to see how much you can push things, you just see the faintest telltale tremors that he goes from interested in what is said to a bit not fear fear, but certainly something there. And he looks up and goes, well, this is very valuable indeed, as it fills in a lot of the gaps. Stupidly, they have used a substitution cipher that is very commonly used amongst the drow and have barely altered it, so it is almost for me to read as common as. But I can understand it would have stumped those of you without our background in the matron houses. It explains where their psionic powers are from, and you may wish to reconsider the accord that we are almost agreed upon.
In what direction?
They have made a pact with an illithid hive mind, and that is where they are getting their psionic powers.
And
you may know of them as mind flayers. They are incredibly powerful scions.
Could I roll something to see if I've ever heard of mind flayers before?
Everybody can if they want. I'd say history.
Even let Scale read the note. She totally could have deciphered that. Don't even front.
I got this line. There's a straight line that goes down like this, and there's like a little thing at the top. I don't know what that means.
It means you done fucked up.
Yep.
I got a 19.
Jesus.
I know history.
What about Mr. Alton?
History.
Sorry. History.
It's in a book.
Okay. So, when he says mind flayer and illithid, it really doesn't mean anything to anyone other than Scale.
On the seas.
You're probably somebody that, similar to a bard, you would know. You've held tall stories. You've never come across an illithid or a mind flayer. All you have heard is almost like horror stories that sailors sometimes tell each other around in an inn over several rums.
Yeah.
You know that they are incredibly intelligent creatures. They are masterminds that harvest people for their own nourishment, and that is partially how they procreate as well, by
tadpole.
Yeah, tadpole in the brain. But basically, they turn people into themselves. They are meant to be very, very powerful psionic powers, similar to magical effects, but and they have tentacles that come out of the front of their head that can lapse on and eat people's brains. But you are of the opinion that these are creatures of myth and nothing but scare stories to earn somebody a few drinks in a tavern. So you would react like somebody had said, "Oh yeah, they've got a contract with the bogeyman."
Yeah. It's like, maybe this note is a trick because really illithids. What are we, mothers scaring children?
Rodents of unusual size, they don't exist.
I've made money in a bar off of telling illithid stories.
And I think Jarlaxle just looks at you quite pointedly and says, "Well, I'm afraid to tell you this, but they're real and every bit as scary as they sound."
Yeah, that's how you start every single story.
What is an illithid? I'm sorry, I might as well say it.
It's a squid face man.
Like
yeah,
the Kraken.
they're
Like one of
the
those
Kraken.
were creatures. Like a
No,
they
no,
turn.
they're-
Okay, no.
no, they're like they like live underground. They come out and they'll eat your brain.
Like a zombie.
I mean, I've never seen a zombie eat anything's brain.
Well, eat everything, but
Yeah,
interesting. So they're squid-faced men who live under the ground. We didn't see them move.
and will eat your brain, which is like dumb sounding.
Yeah. Why do they have squid faces?
It's better eat your brain.
I guess. So then they have struck an accord with these men who pretend to be these monsters of legend. And then
They are real. I have fought them before.
they are then...
As an individual, they're probably not so dangerous for a party like yourselves, but if they are en masse, or if there is a hive mind, as this suggests, then they are extraordinarily dangerous. And I would not be overly confident of overcoming them myself.
So then there would be illithids in the keep, and they are then basically living monsters of legend, like dragons.
There's no... Yes, they are scare stories, but they are, and always have been, real creatures. Whether they are in this compound now, I cannot say. This letter is very low on information. It just says an accord has been struck. Please bring the crystals. As though that is some sort of bargain. But if they are a creature with psionic powers, and then he holds up the crystal that Seric's given him, and these enhance psionic powers, then they could go from very dangerous to absolutely terrifying, take over the world dangerous.
And I'm guessing then that you would never trade these crystals with the illithids then?
No, I am many things, and I will admit that my own self-importance is what comes first, but I would never even consider trading or coming to some sort of agreement with such as them. They are abhorrent.
Insight?
Mm-hmm.
That is 29.
Okay. You rolled a 25. He's mostly telling the truth. But there's a little bit of never say never.
Yeah.
But he believes what he's saying.
His beliefs have a limit of how much he values them in money.
Yes. Everything, yes. He does believe what he says, but there is always something can always change that.
Yeah. Right. And seeing as you have many of them, one would figure that they would have even more. Do you know of any weakness in the illithids that is exploitable for this?
We don't even know if they're going to be there.
From the sounds of this message.
No, it does not say they are. It just says an accord has been struck.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it mentioned something about Waterdeep. Which is...
It was yes, we'll say he said that. He has been told to contact the brother in Waterdeep and bring the Waterdeep cadre north to Luskan. So basically to bolster their forces in Luskan. And it says specifically an envoy is en route to discuss further terms. So there may be a small party of illithid there.
And weakness, you stab them in their squid faces.
Well, if they are monsters of legend, usually legends contain some sort of ultimate tool to defeat those.
No, it's not. This is a bedtime story legend. It's a go to bed or the illithid will get you. Or a I survived an illithid that attacked my boat and ate my men.
Oh. We just have stories about trolls in that way.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So then... Well then, seeing as the opposition in the keep seems to be gaining strength all the time, will there be anything else that you can add to us?
Also, how much are you paying us for that note?
That is very, very valuable information. I think I could part with 5,000 gold for it.
Insight! 24?
No, you're actually incited.
Yeah!
He's probably given you more than it's actually worth, just to try and show that he's a fancy Dan and money. He's got money for anything. He's basically
yeah. He's hoping that he'll pay for something else.
No, he definitely, that is not something he pays for.
I don't need to pay for it. That sounds acceptable to me.
Okay, you'll have it before you leave the ship.
Wonderful.
All right.
So then, would...
Should we, sorry to butt in there, should we pause at this moment, so in case there's anything which our good friend Emeros would wish to pump in at this point? Because he's got his own thing going on, and before any final decisions and things are made, this is something to take up for next week, I think.
Because we did want that lead for the Dragon Company.
Yeah, we did need that information too, so we'll get to that when Cyric is here.
Yes.
Yeah. Go. Sorry to butt in there, but I just think it's quite a well, not opportune particularly, but I want Emeros to have his input into this, because as I say, Cyric definitely has things that he wants to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Marbles on a trap car.
Right. Well, if we are wrapping it up for the evening... Oh, there he is!
Hey! Speak of the devil.
Your
Hello,
phone died.
sexy.
Bear with me, and I'll get the proper view back.
Super sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. Now I can do it. Now I can do it again.
We were just going to wrap up, so I think we continue to do so. If your phone's going to die again, just be on the safe side. And it's a good place to leave a little bit of a cliffhanger, a minor cliffhanger.
If you want to know what happened while you were gone, Cyric, you can watch the YouTube video.
Yeah. And I must say, what a magnificently edited video. My God, it is.
Right.
Okay.
So, as always, gonna thank Dan for, I believe I saw him resub right at the start of here, so thank you, Dan, for that.
Thank you, Dan.
We did not have any new followers this week because we didn't want to.
Yeah.
We just didn't want him. We
don't
don't
want anyone to watch, you know?
Yeah. And it's always going to be the case when you've not streamed.
Yeah, we took a break. But if you want to reach out to us or talk to us, as always, there's our Twitter, as apparently someone has been posting like quotes and being active on Twitter lately. I don't know what's going on with you.
That dog was so cute.
I just know that I'm getting notifications. I'm like, all right.
All the time.
And then we have our sponsor, LibusArcana.com, where you can use the code Saviors to get 25% off your first month of a monthly dice subscription. What are you pointing at? Down below, pointing below us, you can get to the YouTube and the Twitter and all that information. I think that's everything. We will be back next week, barring death or sickness.
Or both.
Oh my God, yeah.
Or
Are
both.
you planning something, Jabber?
Alright, okay, so that's us for the week, guys. See you next week.
Sorry for the early.
It's all good.